Before we move on and look at some alternative methods of using the tracer, let's just switch back to our tracer object and have a look at one of the other parameters which we haven't explored yet. The parameter I'm talking about here is the space option, and as you can see it's set to global. So what that means is that the positions being traced will be in the position that they are visible in our world. In other words, our tracer object's position has no relevance to this. What we can do is we can change this to local, and what that means that if our tracer object moves from world 0, then this will affect the way that the splines are drawn. Let's switch to our side view and deselect the circle and the sweep NURBS for a moment. I'm also going to just hide my camera. So with the tracer object selected, rewind to the beginning and just press play, like so. And now if we drag our tracer, you can see that that moves our splines around. Undo so that your tracer is back at world 0. What we can now do is we can animate the position of our tracer so that it moves in the opposite direction to the trace splines themselves, or in fact the opposite direction of the FBX skeleton. And if we do that, it will appear that our trace motion lines all appear to stay in the same place. If we just unhide our root object for the moment and jump to the end of our project, let's grab our tracer and pull this up so it's somewhere around the same kind of position. Switch to the coordinates tab and you can see that we're moving this on Z. I'm just going to set this to a round number, say 450. You can be a little bit more precise if you're working on this. Let's add a key here for our Z position, and let's rewind to the beginning. And now if we take our tracer and pull it back to the same kind of place, so -160, and add another key, if we now press play, you can see that what I've done makes the splines whiz past our character. We've also got an ease in and an ease out on our motion. So if you open the timeline, I've got it tabbed in my layout, but you may wish to come up to Window and choose Timeline. If we select the tracer object, press Control and switch over to RF curves, you can see that we have a smooth curve in and out of our keys. So first of all, come to the key menu and just choose linear. The next thing I want to do is actually reverse that. I set the keys the opposite way, but we can do that by coming to the key menu and choose mirror X. Now if we rewind and press play, you can see because our motion moves in the opposite direction to the actual runner, it gives the illusion of our splines staying in the same place. If we just hide the root of our skeleton and deselect, you can now see that we have our sweep or our splines all travelling on the spot. So that gives you an alternative way of generating these splines, and you can indeed see if we watch our sweeps, it does give the illusion of someone running along. So it's a pretty cool technique in itself. Okay, so it's probably a good idea at this point to save your project, and then let's move on and look at an alternative method of using our tracer object to generate some further types of geometry based on the motion.